Politics has rightly been defined as the highest form of charity, quoting Pope Pius XI.
Hi, basically this video gonna be in English because the English is a language that majority of people understand it, and although I know that I don't have many English speaker in my Instagram, but I prefer to speak English because of the reason that I've already mentioned. A couple of days ago, I encountered with very beautiful definitions of politics. They haven't encountered in my life before that. The definition was given by the Holy Pope Leo XIV, and he quoted from another Pope that I can't remember his name now, but at the end of it as a reference, probably I also attach that video to this basically short introductory video about a definition of politics. Anyway, the definition that Pope Leo XIV offered was that the politics is the highest form of the politics is highest form of charity. It's actually the most beautiful definition for politics that I have ever heard in my life. That politics is the highest form of charity. Actually, in the realm of politics, political sciences, and international relations, after the Second World War, the definition that is accepted one is offered by the political scientist from Germany, a Jewish German professor Hans Morgenthau, and he said, in very short, he said that politics is a struggle for power. Politics is a struggle for power. So there is a big difference between the struggle for power and the highest form of charity. And you know, but the point is that who gonna decide in politics in our everyday life? And as you know, in a dictatorship, in the dictator regimes, usually the dictators and the people that are loyal to that person make decisions, and that those people are decision makers. And in a so-called democratic regimes, democratic systems, decision makers represent the people of the country. And but who are they? This is obvious that they people choose them. And in a very interesting book that I read some years ago, this book, American Political System, this is a new book. Actually, it was published in 2014, and then in 2017, in early days of President Trump presidency. So actually, this is not the old books of politics, and as I said, it was published in 2017, and this picture of Congress and pigs in Congress is very illuminating, that I'm not gonna mention. Why? Because some years after that, some people just attacked the Congress. I'm looking for the pictures of President Trump, actually, because I have problem to find this picture. This is a picture of President Trump presidency. And as you can see, this is not an old book. In that book, then said that interest group and social movement on chapter 11. Chapter 11 is very important number. We have IPAC, the Israeli lobby. And they said they also as they said this, he very interesting said that how can well-organized, narrow interest influence government in a ways that go against the preference of majority of Americans. They these books explain that, for instance, against behind every politician there is a interest group. Some of them, for instance, are rich companies, and it's because the money talks. Always money talks, and but if we just conclude what I said, in a dictatorship, dictators and the person and those people loyal to dictators are decision makers, and in democratic governments, represent those people at the top, decision makers, are chosen by the people. The government for the people, run by the people. But there is a big but in it, and then this but is there is a school of thought in the United States that was started by Leo Strauss, also Jewish German thinker, and he was brave enough. But I'm telling you that if in universities around the world you talk about Leo Strauss, then the people look at you as a bizarre student, as a bizarre person, and because Strauss look back into the dark ages, Middle Ages, and then those days of the Renaissance, and also look back actually to the Plato and Aristotle in 2,500 years ago. And Leo Strauss famously in his book, The Persecution and Art of Writing, mentions Farabi. Farabi is a philosopher. He said that Farabi, in his view, said that the philosopher king will give his place to the secret kingship of philosophers. So for Strauss, the Farabi he chose, a perfect man is a decision maker. And this perfect man, if you just look at the books that were written by Professor Strauss, there are esoteric issues in that heads of chapters are important. Then, for instance, the books about Machiavelli, he gave it a clue that you have to count the number of each term. For instance, justice, and then put it in the form of a numerology, and the meaning of number, for instance, 11, and number 13, and other numbers that I don't want to mention, for some reasons that I prefer to keep it secret in my heart. This is the definition by Strauss. But in just back a decade ago, a documentary by BBC, the British people are very, very smart people. They compared Strauss and Straussians to the movement by Sayyid Qutb. They said Qutb was Qutb, not it's a bad Qutb. Sayyid Qutb, they said Sayyid Qutb thinks like Strauss, and Strauss thinks like Sayyid Qutb. So these issues of a perfect humans or insan kamil in Persian is not very bizarre at least for the Persians, but he introduced that in the United States, and then his students took power in the United States as neo-conservative. But the point is, the person who wants to be the secret kings should be in Machiavelli words, in both in hands and heart. So, because in every state of a board, there is no one who wants to be someone. But I prefer to back to the Plato himself, that the king should be philosopher. But the Farabi says that the secret kingship of philosophers, this is some kind of I think there is a danger of paranoid in that. There is a danger of paranoid in that, because, as I said, everybody wants to be someone. But as the Rumi, the Persian poet, says, there was a guy, not a guy, animal, a jackal, I think. He colored himself and said, I'm a prophet, okay? But if you are a prophet, if you are a king, if you are a prince, what is your miracle? You are a prophet without miracle, then you are not a prophet. You are a prince without an army, then you are not an army. This is a Machiavellian thing that I still stick to that. So, at the end, realism says that politics is struggle for power. Pope Leo XIV, that I really like his definition, said that politics is the highest form of charity. Because the person at the top, no matter who the person is, it can be dictator, it can be the president, it can be prime minister, it can be also the secret king. should have this intention for charity, for helping people. And that's very important. I really liked the definition that was offered by Pope Leo XIV. I don't know if I talked about the things that I wanted to talk about, but fair enough. Ciao, arrivederci.
Politics has rightly been defined as the highest form of charity, quoting Pope Pius XI. Indeed, if we consider the service that political life renders to society and to the common good, it can truly be seen as an act of Christian love, which is never simply a theory, but always a concrete sign and witness of God's constant concern for the good of our human family. Politics has rightly been defined as the highest